Hello, I'm Dan.
I'm Jeff.
Jeff brought his motor over here out of his '69 Ram Air 4 Judge, fresh rebuild, and we thought for the folks on YouTube, we'd talk about the project a little bit and show you around our little garage here and the cars we have in here, and discuss our ups and downs that we've had getting the motor rolling. But Jeff, why don't you tell them what kind of cars come out?
I bought a '69 Judge, silver palladium car, kind of rare, and last year the motor spun a bearing in it, so I pulled it out and this winter rebuilt it and put all new components in it and everything, and brought it over to Dan's to put on this frame, which made it a lot easier to correct any of the issues that we had rather than leaning over the fenders. I'll be having Dan come over and help me put it in the car.
You didn't tell me about that.
That was a surprise.
Oh.
And we're going to do that probably in a month or so. But it should run strong. I'm looking forward to getting it going.
What's the gear ratio on that, Judge?
It's a 390.
4-speed car.
4-speed car.
And as you can see, we've got the automatic transmission in here right now. And I'll explain this in a minute, but that's out of my '68 GTO that we're going to frame off on. We just mocked up the transmission to bolt onto the motor just so we could run it for test purposes. Well, like Jeff said, you know, we thought we'd use the finished roll of chassis off our '68 GTO as a mule to start the motor with and work through our problems. So it's worked out real well. All right, here I'll take the camera. Then you got to do another. Okay, sorry. Okay, in the garage here, we've got a few cars sitting around I thought maybe you might be interested in. I like watching YouTube and getting stories on different guys' cars and equipment and the garages. What we've got here, this maroon car is a '69 Ram Air GTO. I bought this car new. It's got 25,000 miles on it. I put the vinyl seat covers on it in 1970, but this is a 4-speed 433 gear car. The motor on the engine stand over here actually is the original motor out of the '69 car, but I'm using the '69 car. We use a lot of mules around here, don't we, Jeff?
Yes, we do.
The '69 car is my mule break-in car for the '68 GTO motor that we built a few years ago. This is the '68 engine in here right now. I ran it last summer, and we have about 300 miles on it, and I've got it broke in pretty good, so it'll probably be coming out this spring, and I'll put the '69 Ram Air motor back in it. The '69 motor is a Ram Air 3 motor that I upgraded in 1971 with Ram Air 4 components, so I guess we could call it a Ram Air 3.5 maybe?
I believe it is, yeah.
But before we put the motor back in, we're going to freshen up the heads and probably do a rebuild on this engine here. The car sitting behind it, this is the '68 GTO that we started. I bought this back in 1983. Check that, 1985. Tennessee car, and we tore it apart a few years ago, and we're doing a complete frame-off rotisserie on this thing. It's been sandblasted and e-coated with primer and been sitting for a couple years. I haven't got back to it yet. I'll show you real quickly here what the car looked like before we started. That's the original car. Maroon black vinyl top, black interior. And we're going to change the color on this car. It's going to be black with a black vinyl top and white interior when we're done. So that's the garage. Jeff, you want to fire this up and?
Well, I'll let you just put this here.
What we did, as you can see, we ran our gas can back here with our return lines and pickup lines into a can. We were running a mixture of turbo blue and premium, and we've got this setup here has got 2.5-inch exhaust, a pipe system, X-pipe system, as you can see. Sounds real good. we set up something a lot of you guys may know this. We learned the hard way. I burned a coil up, but you've got to have a resistor to run through your points. That's a Mopar part, and that saved the coil. But if you don't run that, if you go direct in the battery to the coil, you're going to burn it up. So we found that worked real good, and we just hooked up a remote start to it, and she was good to go. Let's fire it up, Jeff. Nothing sounds better than a Ram Air 4 cam idlest.
I have 3 Ram Air 4 cars, 69 GTO Ram Air 4 cars that I bought to in high school. Got 69 Trans Am Ram Air 4 cars.
I think I was with you when you bought that car, weren't you?
Yeah.
Weren't you trying to buy a Hemi car and I talked you into the Ram Air 4 car?
Yeah, I just put out a book both of them, the Hemi and the Ram Air 4 car. But I'm happy with the Ram Air 4 car. And then 69 Judge Ram Air 4 car. Got 2 spare motors, Ram Air 4 cars. I used to buy the cars back in the day, and I used to say it, but I pulled the motor out and take the car to the junkyard.
That's blasphemy right there.
Yes, it is. It's terrible now, but...
That'll be a law against it.
Yeah, I just bought a 455 Super Duty motor, 1973. Every piece is still brand new in the GM wrapper. With a fantastic barn find, and I'm looking forward to putting that together. And I'm looking for a 73 formula to put that in. So if anybody watching this may know of one, please contact me at area code 810-688-9110. Surely would appreciate it.
What kind of car is that again you're looking for?
73 formula. Preferably a stick car, but automatic would work.
Okay.
So we started with the motor here. Put it all together this winter. Set it in the.
You build the stock specs.
Stock specs.
Okay.
You know, I had the bottom end all balanced by a local machine shop, and set her in the frame here, and we went to fire it up, and it started right up, and then we experienced some problems. Carburetor percolating and overflowing. So we went through the basics of changing the flow, tried to adjust the needles and jets and stuff, and that didn't take care of the problem. So we switched the carburetor out with a proven carburetor off of Dan's car. It runs better, but then it was still flooding out and stuff. So the problem was the fuel pump was bad. I used the fuel pump off the original motor. I should have put a new one in there, but the fuel pump was putting out too much pressure and the carburetor couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I think you found that out. I went on the internet and also found out that that is an issue. I mean, we think of fuel pumps not pumping because the diaphragm goes bad. In this case, it was pumping too much fuel, too much pressure.
Right. So once we got a new fuel pump on it, took care of the problem. Relashed the valves again.
Yeah, why don't you explain to the guys? Most Pontiac guys know this, but maybe some non-Pontiac guys don't realize they're using stock original Ram Air 4 limited travel lifters. What kind of lash you've got to do on them?
Right. Ram Air 4 lifter HL64 is a unique lifter. In fact, it's semi-solid and it takes a different lash than the stock 400 lifter. Stock 400 lifter is just torqued down the locker nut into the rocker arm 20 foot-pound, and that basically sets the lash for that lift combination. Ram Air 4, you bring your number 1 cylinder up the top dead center to start with, and then you lash that to 8,000 poles. And if the motor is running with the oil drip clips on the rockers, you use a 1,000 sealer stock until the clatter is gone. You loosen them up, have your clatter, tighten them until the last clatter is gone. The pole start was to use the 8,000 sealer stock, tighten her down 1/8 of a turn, tighten it. And that's where that lifter, the lash is correct.
8 plus an eighth of a turn, that's all you do.
Correct.
Yeah, no quarter, half turns, otherwise it's too tight.
Right, eighth of a turn. And it makes a world of difference. It started out, it was a little too tight, running rough, so we relaxed it again, and it made a big difference. Now, by the sound of it, we're going to go outside and listen to the exhaust outside so you get a true effect of the sound.
That's a Ram Air 4 camshaft right there. That's music to my ears.
Yep, I'm looking forward to taking this down the strip and see what kind of times it'll turn.
Yeah. Of course, we're in Michigan and we got a little snow up here, so we could,
Right.
that's why we're doing this inside.
It's the end of March.
Yeah. Well, like we say, this is the completed rolling chassis for the 68 GTO that we just threw the motor in to do our fire up on. It's worked real well because we had a few problems we had to work through. It's so much easier working on it in the frame versus in the car. So it's been it was a good idea, I think, to do it this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, Jeff?
So, I just want to say thank you, Dan, for helping me with this. And,
You bet.
get that in the car, cruises.
How about we do a YouTube once you get it in the car and run and the car's all done? Do another one.
Yeah, we'll do another one.
All right.
Yep.
All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye now.